stick up for animals, animal rights. It's a beautiful day in Chicago. There's a little bit of a breeze, and there's music on the streets. Lots of people out. It's pretty hopping right now on the streets right now, as you can kind of see. There's a street performer here. Hopefully the sound is going to be okay. This is a little bit outside of my comfort zone to be here when there's this much other sound, I guess. But I think we'll be okay. As you can see, it's kind of just a really busy day. But I think we can make it work. I see Martin in the chat. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to just go ahead and get started. So, Martin says audio is crackling. Is it still crackling, Martin? You definitely want to fix that first. Hey, UK Freedom Fighter, great to see you. So, there is background music, so it's still crackling. Okay, let me try turning off my mic. Okay, how is the audio now? So I turned my mic off and I put it back on. Hey, nerds like us. So, waiting if a kind person can tell me about the audio now. Does it sound good? Is it clear? Is it crackling? I had reset my mic. Better, Martin says. Is it satisfactory? I guess that's the question. I think the street performer has one more song. I think it might have maybe been crackling because of the amount of just ambient sound. But if it's good enough, okay. Nerds Like Us says it's good. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started, and maybe I'll just hold the mic a little bit closer to my mouth. Good at the moment. Okay, awesome. We'll get started. This is going to be a little interesting with this amount of sound, but we'll do it. And I also want to say, if you haven't seen, I have live streams coming up. An interview with Jade for Justice coming up soon, and one with Chris Bryant as well. So do be on the lookout for those. And I do hope to stream a couple times this week as well, in addition to today. And I have some amazing news also. I'm upgrading my phone, so I'll be able to live stream with much higher quality video. I'm hoping that it'll look a little more dynamic, a little less like washed out, and a little bit sharper. So right now I'm using an iPhone 13 mini, and I'll be using a 16 Pro. So it'll be quite a jump. So I'm really excited for that. By the way, if someone can let me know if the audio is still okay right now, because the music around me is kind of loud right now. So I am curious as to whether you guys can at least hear me kind of clearly. If not, I can move. I think I heard this lady say she had one song left. Visuals good and audio. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate you being an extra set of ears and eyes for me. So I'll go ahead and get started here. So for anyone just joining, I'm holding this sign. It says, "Come participate in a social experiment." And we'll see if anyone stops. Yesterday, the first couple of people who stopped just pretty much stopped immediately. I think my record's about 10 minutes that I've had to wait for someone to stop. Sometimes it's quite immediate. It's like, what's the saying, like flies on fruit or something like that. But sometimes it takes longer. I don't expect it to take too long today. So I think we'll be in a conversation. Martin says the singing is quite loud. Yeah, it is. I guess I'm wondering if it's so distracting that that you think it'll affect like the understandability of the conversation. Crackling a bit. Okay, that's probably because Martin. I think what's happening is that the volume of the music, like the singing, it's probably causing the mic to crackle, because it seems like that happened before. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move. So it's okay, no problem. Just a little bit of a reset here. So I'm gonna go somewhere a little bit quieter and see if we can get started up there with our experiment, and then maybe I'll move, or maybe I won't after that point, because I think that lady said she had one song left. Oh shit! There's something really loud starting here too. Oh man. All right. Well, here's I'll turn it the other way so you guys can kind of see. Here's that parrot again. Um, so I'm kind of trying to. There's this like open kind of plaza here. There's some kind of performance or something getting set up here, and I hear some kind of like cello or something up ahead. Nerds like us, I guess she can keep singing, but I would like to be able to set up somewhere around here. There's a cello performance going on, but I think it's okay. So there's this lady with like doing like art or something. So this is kind of like I think a nice area. So I don't know if you guys can hear this cello music. I think it's probably a little bit less. Oh, there's the baby crying too. Man, you just can't win today. So you guys probably hear this cello person, but hopefully it's not too loud. But then again, it is pretty freaking loud. Maybe I'll try to move a little further away. And it's challenging to get away from ambient noise today. Really challenging. Okay. What can you do? Okay. It is quite loud. Yeah, I'm a little further away now, so I'm just gonna go for it. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, if you guys want to kind of let me know if the audio starts getting too loud again or starts crackling and stuff like that, that would be awesome. Thank you to everyone who's here. I'm Haas. I'm doing a stream for animals, so I'm basically holding a sign inviting people to participate in a social experiment, and hopefully some people will stop and we'll have some good conversations. So I'll place this is probably a good spot here like this. Okay, I like the song actually. So hallelujah. Okay. So holding the sign, come participate in a social experiment. Martin says so far sounds good. Thanks so much, and thanks to everybody who's here. I'm really curious. I see 17 people here. If you want to just drop in the chat, are you vegan or are you non-vegan? That would be awesome. And if you're vegan, maybe tell the chat how long you've been vegan. That would be really awesome to see. And if you haven't liked the stream, please do so, and that'll help push it out to more people. And we can kind of get hopefully a lively audience here. I've had some pretty good conversations lately, and hoping to keep it going. It's been a while since I've had a real, I guess like controversial like banger type conversation. Most people have been pretty receptive, and I don't know if that's because people are trying not to like upset me or something like that, or if maybe I'm just getting better at outreach. Daniel Broccoli says 8 years vegan. Awesome. From St. Helens, Oregon, way across the country. Really glad you're here, Daniel. I love your last name too. Broccoli is one of my favorite veggies. See Michael here. Thanks for being here, Michael. Martin's holding it down with the moderation. So I will say there's this performance thing set up like kind of like directly next to me here. So if this gets started, it might get really loud. So just trying to make it work here today. It's one of the pitfalls of being in a very busy area, but then again, you get a lot of foot traffic. But yeah, I am thinking about, if it might be worthwhile to like start bringing like a laptop or iPad or a TV out, and then just like displaying some footage, like some slaughterhouse footage, because I think, the amount of eyes that land on this sign is huge, but the amount of people who actually end up getting any kind of like influence toward being plant-based, vegan, etc., is very small, relatively speaking. Like, in the immediate locality from this sign. So kind of thinking about ways to maybe mix it up a little bit. Nerds Like Us says it's a great view. Yes, this is basically kind of like right by the river, right by the Chicago River. So those people you see kind of like along that ledge there are overlooking the river. And hopefully some people participate here. Hey, would you like to participate?
I can, but I gotta go get food right now. So you'll be here in like an hour?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll come out.
Okay. A folder like Chip has. Yeah, I think a folder is good, but honestly, like I think video is maybe more impactful. And I have like a tablet that I can use that's like pretty much as portable as a folder. So I'm gonna see if I'll just probably, I can easily slip a tablet into my my bag here. I did hear some music starting next to me here. Man, I hope this stream doesn't just end with me just running around trying to avoid loud noises and sounds and things like that. But we'll see. We'll see if anyone participates. And I might have to go back to the other area. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just try going back to the other area because I think they're about to start something here. So I felt like I think that lady was wrapping up, who was singing earlier. So let me see. I don't hear her singing. I don't see her singing. I think she has wrapped up. So yeah, I think it's gonna be quiet over here. She is still set up, but I think she's packing up. Maybe she might start up again. Dadgummit. So to everyone who's here, my name is Haas. I'm gonna do some vegan animal rights outreach, but I'm just looking for kind of a quieter spot because there's a lot of street performing type stuff going on around me, and I want you guys to be able to hear the conversations. So it looks like actually it looks like the singer lady is not quite done yet. But we're just gonna go for it, I guess. We'll just go for it and see what we can make of this afternoon. Going to a vegan restaurant later, hopefully meeting up with some friends. It'll be a good evening. Just kind of trying to put in some activism time today, speak up for some oppressed beings. So that's what I'm here for, because there's animals that horrific things are happening to. I truly mean horrific. For people who aren't vegan, if you see what happens in slaughterhouses, if you actually see an animal's neck getting cut, and imagine being in the victim's position, it's absolutely grim, grisly, gnarly things are happening. So, the best thing we can do is just picture ourselves in their position, see it from the animal's outlook, and just try to prevent systems of oppression that promote this kind of stuff happening to these innocent, defenseless beings. Oh, something I just realized, I have low power mode on right now. That might be screwing up the connection a little bit. Let me turn my brightness down a bit too. I'm actually going to be able to be here a little bit longer today. So I've got my hydration, my battery's pretty charged up. I have my screen a little dimmer, so I'm poised to be able to be out here a little longer. I got a bunch of leaflets as well. Sunday afternoon, so basically gonna hopefully do have some conversations, do some outreach, and go get some awesome vegan food. So that is the plan. So I appreciate everybody being here. I see Alicia here. Thank you for being here, Alicia. And I think the music's a little less loud, so hopefully it's a little less distracting. Plant-based food, the best, says Michael. Yes. In fact, I think that's the only food, if you ask me my honest opinion. I know the view here isn't quite as nice as it was in the other spot, but there's a lot of people coughing around me today. today. I just keep seeing people coughing, and the wind is kind of blowing. So every time someone coughs, I kind of like hold my breath because I don't want the wind to blow whatever people are coughing up into my respiratory tract. Michael, thank you. I love everybody who's here, non-vegans and vegans alike. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm trying to raise awareness for animals who are having violence inflicted upon them, animals who are innocent, who horrific violence is being inflicted. And it's like worst violence you can imagine on the planet. If you think about being an animal like a cow who is just born, for example, there's cows who get born on a kill floor of a slaughterhouse. They literally come out of their moms right before their mom is killed, or maybe as their mom is being killed. And sometimes they're even like suckling for the bolt gun that's about to start ending their life. So I can't emphasize enough the horror of what is happening to animals is truly hard to appreciate. Like, I think our brains you gotta participate to know. It's a surprise. All right, we might have somebody participating. He's got balloons. The curiosity got the best of you. I said your curiosity got the best of you.
Yeah, I'm a social person.
Do you mind being live on my YouTube channel? What do you have there,
If you
balloons?
like and subscribe to mine.
You can definitely plug your channel as long as it's age appropriate.
No. I just let me take my merchandise off.
You can keep it on too. It's up to you.
Yeah. But no, I'm just out here selling stuff for the festival in Wisconsin. My YouTube channel is at Fox Mentality 888. It's just my 3-year journey of learning how to trade futures. So I'm a day trader, and I'm just going through the process right now. I started a demo account with $1,000 about 2 months ago, and now it's up to $7,000. I go live typically Monday through Fridays and just put all my stuff out there. Got a learning curriculum. Everything is free.
You're on YouTube?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is on YouTube as well. So my name is Hazen. I'm basically running a social experiment, and I'm asking people a question just to help them think a little bit differently and kind of seeing how their values play out from there. So something that I learned recently was about animal testing on dogs, and I learned that burn research is actually has been done where dogs have been shaven, like a patch of fur has been shaven off of them, and a hot plate has burned them to test the effects of a burn, like to see how they heal and maybe develop cures or different therapies for burn victims, human burn victims. I'm wondering what you think about that. Like, if it's okay to burn an animal and obviously make them suffer in the process, if that means developing treatments for humans.
No, I mean, no one, no thing, or even if whatever. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure we got enough resources to be able to find other ways. I know they have things like those, the tattoo stuff that you can buy, and like if you want to learn how to do tattoos, it's like real skin. I'm pretty sure we can make. I mean, if they're growing meat in labs, I'm pretty sure they can grow some skin to test it if that was the situation. So I feel like we've come as a society to the level where there are ultimate solutions for the way that we used to do things.
If you learned that it was like really necessary to do it to develop like a certain type of burn therapy, like I don't know if you've seen the movie The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as the Joker, and which was filmed, a lot of it, maybe all of it was filmed in Chicago. Do you know the movie?
Yep.
So in that, there's Harvey Dent, and half of his face gets kind of burned off with this like acid or whatever in the building explosion after Joker tricks Batman, etc. His face is burned to the extent where like it's obviously CGI, but like you can see like
to be grafted and everything like that.
You can see like stuff in his mouth. If it was something like that serious, but animals had to be like a bunch of dogs had to be burned and euthanized, etc. for it, would you consider that still okay, or would you say like it's not okay in any event to?
So what's the exact situation? It can only be tested on animals or something? Are you saying?
In the hypothetical, yeah.
I mean, well,
no, it can be tested on humans as well.
So what's the exact? what's the scenario? Can you explain
Well,
that to
I
me
guess
again?
I'm just asking if you would be against testing burn research on animals if there was a situation where somebody, where like let's say scientists just claim like, well, to get it even better, like the repair process to make the person fully appear healed, we need to perfect this gene therapy or something like that, and we need to burn dogs as a result of it, to advance the healing surgeries and things like that.
I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, um, man is a predator. Humans are a predator. We are at the top of the food chain. If there are situations where, I mean, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure somebody in your viewer has eaten meat at some point in their life, has drinking milk, had eggs at some point in their life, and not all factories and facilities are in the up and up. So at the end of the day, I'm not advocating for it, but sometimes it's good to be at the top of the chain. I'm not a religious person, but at the end of the day, I do believe that a lot of religious texts states that we were given dominion over the animals and the creatures. So if it must be done, I mean, it must be done. But I mean, I think differently than a lot of other people. If I'm put in a situation where I'm in charge of 100,000 people, and something happens where we have to, 1,000 people have to die to save the rest, I'm willing to make that decision for the better good of society.
Okay, so I guess you're maybe coming kind of from a utilitarian perspective, like
I'm
kind of
coming
like,
from a pragmatic, logical situation. Why let everyone die if we can sacrifice 1%? That's the same reason why I never agree with the COVID. During the entire COVID situation, there was never no point where the death rate was above 4%. So logically speaking, the country and everything like that should have never been shut down for a 4% chance of death. That's just how I think.
I see. So I guess I'm curious about situations where you would think that it would be, I guess what, um, where's the stop? Like, where's the
When the
stopping?
negatives outweigh the pros.
Okay. So I guess if I could ask you a question. So if I got a lot of pleasure from leaving out rotten fruit in my place and letting fruit flies kind of multiply on it because I really enjoyed clapping them, just like a ninja just going around clapping, clapping, clapping. And I got a lot of joy from that. Would you have any issue with that, or would you say like, go ahead and do it if it brings you joy?
I mean, that's your house. We swat flies and mosquitoes every day. If that's what you do in your house, that's your house where you pay the bills, where you are a American citizen that has the right to kill flies if you want to kill flies. As long as you stop at flies and you don't start killing cats and dogs, you have that right.
And you mentioned cats and dogs. Would your issue with that be, I guess, do you have an issue with it from an ethical perspective, or would your issue be more like based on the legality or lack thereof?
You mean ethical as in far as the burn situation,
No,
or
no,
ethical as in clapping dogs
No,
and
no, like
cats?
legality is different than morality, of course, because there are things that have been legal.
But yeah, legality still. I'm asking the situation. I mean, to clarify the question. That's what
Sure.
I mean.
I mean, like if I enjoyed, let's say I enjoyed breeding dogs, and then when they were little puppies, I killed them and then like pickled them, and I just liked having these big pickle jars with pickled dog like
I would
puppies.
say that you need psychiatric help.
But would you have an issue with it, a moral issue?
Yes, you would need psychiatric help
And what would be the reason why you would say that would be wrong?
because they line it up for you. Now look, just because of situations like that most likely indicate that there is a deeper psychological issue with you that could form into a potential threat to the greater good of the overall society and community. If you are doing those things again, studies show and therapists, different documentaries and stuff like that allude to the fact that a lot of times psychopaths and serial killers and stuff like that, Ted Bundy and people like that, typically start out small with things like that, rats, cats, dogs, squirrel, whatever they can catch, and then potentially progress. So something like that, I would say that person would need psychiatric help.
And whether that you would say that person would need psychiatric help, whether they were torturing the dogs or whether they were just like euthanizing them like relatively painlessly, it doesn't matter to you, right? Because their life is being ended prematurely.
I mean, at the end of the day, if I don't agree with all euthanization, but at the end of the day, if we have an overpopulation situation, if the animal is to the point where the medical bills would cost more than the life of that they're living,
Yeah.
I mean, some situations again,
Yeah.
just like if somebody is hurting, if I was in pain, I knew I only had a little bit of time left, I would want.
So if I could bring you back to the hypothetical. So in this hypothetical, these are healthy puppies that a person is just either like let's just say painlessly euthanizing. So
again, I'm very clear on my responses. Again, like I'm saying, only in these situations, on these extreme situations, but in general, no. If you think that you have to do these things for a general service or purpose, there's something mentally wrong with you.
I guess so. My reason for asking this hypothetical is because I'm bringing forth an idea where someone is causing the life of a fellow being to end for reasons of pleasure, to extract pleasure from the situation. Because so I'm an animal rights activist, if you couldn't tell. So I stand up for the well-being basically of all animals. So I don't think that cows, pigs, turkeys, chickens, fishes, etc., or other animals, whether like elephants in zoos or camels that people ride on or seals that people club, should be subjected to enslavement and violence at the hands of humans. Like exploitation is essentially what I'm against. So the situation that I bring up is, the way I see it, analogous to the situation of people eating animals, because without necessity, a necessary evil is just evil, right? Because it's no longer necessary. We're left with evil.
Okay.
So that's the perspective. That's the reason for the hypothetical.
Are you a vegan?
Yeah, so I've been vegan for 13 years. My channel is called Haas Vegan. So the idea here is just to basically get people to reflect on their own values. And I'm not trying to convince anybody. Like my goal isn't for you to walk away and be like, all right, buddy, I'm vegan now. That kind of thing. But it's for people just to understand how they really feel about these things, because a lot of people don't think about it. We go day to day. People don't really recognize an animal when they look at a piece of animal.
And you also know some people can't be vegan just because of their DNA breakdown and makeup and stuff like that. There are people that literally get sick and could potentially die from living off a just vegan diet. I know some people that had to switch to a pescatarian diet. They had blood work done and their DNA and their structure was broken down to say that continuing living a vegan lifestyle would kill them because of the side effects and blood and loss of weight and stuff like that.
I mean, respectfully, to me, that sounds like misinformation. There are, large academies.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no. So the largest academy of nutritionists and dietitians, it's called the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They have a position paper on plant-based diets, and their position is that a well-planned plant-based diet is suitable for all stages of life, from like infancy, pregnancy, adulthood, athletics, adolescence, etc. The only thing really that we can't obtain from a plant-based diet would be, and when I say plant-based, of course, that includes like mineral substances and fungi as well, mushrooms, yeast, but it's basically B12. And then, of course, like vitamin D, you can get it from the sun. But the way I see it, taking a supplement isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'm not so concerned with what is natural as much as I'm concerned with what is ethical. And when I put it in a human context, or a context of like, if I were in a country where the only meat available were dogs and cats, let's say, and in many places of the world they are eaten. Some places are even tortured to make them taste better, supposedly. In those places, I would just take a B12 supplement, and I would take vitamin D, and maybe a zinc supplement too. There's things that a plant-based diet might be a little bit lower in compared to an animal-based diet. But then, an animal-based diet is probably going to be lower in things like antioxidants, going to be lower in folic acid, probably, fiber, of course.
Absolutely. So like you said, that study showed that most people, right? So like I said in my original statement, there are some people whose genetic makeup.
I'm not.
I like to clarify. I see you was like kind of making it seem as though like kind of out the skirts, but I'm very articulate.
No. Yeah. I mean, my intention is just to have a respectful dialogue.
Yeah.
But
I don't feel disrespectful.
Okay, good. Let me make sure. So just regarding DNA, though, I'm not aware of any genetic requirement of an individual, to eat animal flesh,
So
or is it like animal products?
I just said that some people's DNA means that they cannot necessarily live off the vegan diet. I eat whatever I choose except for shellfish and catfish. I do not eat roaches. But again, there are some people that just having a vegan lifestyle isn't conducive for them and their lifestyle. That's it.
Are you aware of a specific, like, can you tell me which gene, like,
That is not my expertise. I typically do not go into depth in information and situations that I do not really have a strong enough grasp and reference. That's I said. That's why it's just certain situations, certain people. For example, one of the main people that I knew that I used to watch, or I still do watch them online, is a person named Billy Carson. And, he just talks about his journey on his health and the foods and stuff that he did. And he said, like you said, for years he was a big vegan, and he was just saying like some of the stuff he was trying to get the right diet for him and to make sure he had all his vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that. And his body still was breaking down until he went into a doctor, had blood work drawn, and then, like I said, I've seen 2 or 3 other videos of people talking about getting blood work done so that way they can track your DNA and see what a specific diet is best for you and your genetic makeup. That's why I made that comment.
Okay. So maybe, are you saying that like maybe everybody can survive on a plant-based diet, but
What
maybe
I'm
some
saying
people...
is anybody that is making a life decision on their nutrition should get blood work done and talk to a professional and see what they say is best for them and their body and their lifestyle. That's what I am saying.
I guess what I would try to impress upon you is that the society in which we live is largely carnistic. So it's comprised of people who believe that using animals is normal, natural, and necessary, and by extension believes that not using animals is abnormal, unnatural, and unnecessary. So if you look at something like the Academy of Nutritionists and Dietetics, who they're experts in nutrition and dietetics. So, and this isn't like a vegan organization. I'm not aware of anything that they've stated with regard to like genetics. I guess we're kind of at an impasse if that's if that's your position. But what I would encourage you to do is just pursue this. Like I would look up like on ChatGPT, like is there any known genetic
and I would encourage you too. I would encourage you too.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, I typically
will.
only speak in things that I have somewhat of some knowledge in and grasp in.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, of course.
Somebody told me a long time ago, if people only spoke about what they actually knew and actually saw, the world would be a lot quieter. But then we wouldn't have all the social media presences.
Yeah, there's also a quote like misinformation. I believe it's like it's more dangerous than the illusion of information or something like that. Yeah.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves. That's why I enjoy having this conversation with you.
Yeah, and I mean, if you end up discovering later that you were misinformed,
we can look it up now, right? I got my phone.
I mean, you can sure,
right now,
sure.
Right? So, what should I ask specifically?
I guess maybe like, is there any genetic? I mean, you're the one making the claim, so I guess I would ask like,
actually. Are there studies showing that? Oh no! How would I want to word this?
That's what I was asking you. Like, is it to thrive or to survive?
My bad. I was thinking. I made that question rhetorical. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are there any studies stating or showing that people's different DNA need different diets? See?
That might be a little bit vague.
Yeah. That's why I'm going to see what it says and then I'll critique it.
Maybe just ask, how about as a requirement to eat animals?
Recent research suggests that an individual's DNA can indeed influence their dietary needs in response to food. Mm-hmm. This field of study known as nutrigenomics, explores the intricate interactions between genes, diet, and health outcomes.
Yeah.
So just like I said, it's just basic things like your ancestors came from technically no, they all came from Ethiopia, Africa, but European descendants and people from the Caucasus Mountains, whatever, had a different diet than people that lived in sun-rich Africa. So their dietary needs were different. Their metabolism was breaking down because you guys didn't necessarily have as much sun, fresh food, different things like that. So your bodies had to adapt, just like our bodies had to adapt differently. Just like Asian people, Indian people, Native American people, everybody had a different diet. That's why people that are Asians can't metabolize alcohol and stuff like that. Is in their DNA.
I understand that, genetics can influence how people respond to different types of food. I guess the crux of the matter that we didn't quite get to is that if there's any nutritional requirement for anyone to actually eat animals, right? That's the critical question here. So
I guess you can ask the people that are on the carnivore diet. Maybe it's somebody out here that might be on the carnivore diet. You can ask them how the benefit is for them. I just go off like I said, on the information that I have, that I can verify, like we just did. That's all I do.
Yeah, and I mean, my role here is not to prescribe different diets to people. Veganism with being an ethical position has to do more with how we would treat the victims and not exploiting or commodifying animals. So I won't take more of your time. I'd like to give you some more information, though, and I do appreciate your time and chatting with me here. I think it was an interesting discourse. So this is from an organization called Vegan Outreach, and it has just some information about different aspects of a plant-based diet and veganism in general. So again, I do appreciate your time and being here.
Great conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And good luck on YouTube also.
Absolutely, thank you. And then you can check out my family. We own a Smoothie King in Summers, Wisconsin. Check us out.
A lot of plant-based options there too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you for stopping. Have a good one. All right. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around here. My name is Haas, if you're just popping in. I'm holding this sign that says, "Come participate in a social experiment." And I'm trying to get people to stop and talk about plant-based diet and veganism and using or exploiting animals and kind of just test their values on it. So that's what I'm here to do. Probably be out here maybe another hour or so. So hopefully, oh, my battery is getting a little low there, darn. Let me turn my screen brightness down. Trying to really make do with this phone until my new one comes in. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better. I'm at 58%, but I do have a very upgraded phone coming in tomorrow, and I'll be able to host longer streams. So I'm looking forward to that. You gotta be bold, you gotta be strong, you gotta be... I don't know the words of this, but kind of a groovy song. I don't know how well you guys can hear this performance here. Love will save the day. One more chorus before the hey, hey, hey part. We got people looking but not stopping yet. All I know, love will save the day. Hey. Maybe my singing will deter people from stopping by, either live or like online or in person. I was about to give those people a leaflet, but I couldn't whip it out in time. All right, back to holding the sign. Maximum exposure time. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a very, very quite foot traffic heavy day. So a lot of people walking by. Just gotta get someone to be curious enough to want to stop and talk about animal rights. Love will say, I can't stop. I can't resist the urge to sing. Want to participate? Okay. He asked his wife person, and then I think she said no, and then he just pretended I wasn't here. Kind of making me want to do karaoke, actually. I just plugged in my my electric guitar rig yesterday for the first time in a very long time, and It's good to be back, at least jamming on my amp. If you guys weren't aware, I think I said it in a stream, but I cut out like right at that point. But I'll be starting a channel soon to promote my music. I'm a songwriter, so I'm like kind of a multi-instrumentalist, but mostly guitar player. And I've written like probably 2.5 albums, like full-length albums worth of music, probably like 30 songs or so. Pretty strongly written, so I'm really looking forward to putting more music out there. I've just kind of been needing to prioritize that a little more. So planning on taking like a half day every week and just kind of trying to record and see if I can put out a couple songs every month. So do be on the lookout for that. I will be promoting the crap out of my music channel soon. And it's hard to explain the exact genre. I would say like kind of like heavier, kind of like 90s vibe. It's kind of the music that I really wish existed. Maybe somewhere between like Soundgarden, REM, Smashing Pumpkins, and Bush or something like that. And maybe with a little bit of like a dark metal influence. So yeah, kind of like indie rock with like with some edge, rough around the edges type of indie rock. Then late the milky twilight made me out on the moonlit floor. I've actually I can cover this song on guitar too. It's a fun little jam. Thank you, Martin and Lewis and Alicia, for the positivity. I am really looking forward to getting this music out here. But if you're just tuning in, right now I'm doing animal rights activism. So my name is Haas. I'm holding this sign that says, "Come participate in a social experiment." My goal is to get people to stop and talk about animals. I do this a couple times a week at least. I'll be out here again later this week, most likely. And I have some interviews coming up on my channel as well with fellow vegans. So if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. And you'll be aware of all the upcoming stuff. So kiss me. This lady has some good energy. What's up?
You're saying if you were on an island.
You want to come back?
Okay. If you were on an island,
yes,
and you had like 12 pigs, and they was enough to like maybe they'll come save you or whatever, you would rather die, and there was nothing else on the island as far as edible food other than those animals. They would eat the shrub or whatever it is to survive.
Yeah.
You would rather die than eat those pigs or goats or fish.
And wait, what was the thing about getting saved from the island? If I knew that I wasn't going to be...
Say you don't know what's going on, but there's enough pigs or goats. Obviously, they've been there a couple of generations. There's enough to keep repopulating them and having generations or whatever to sustain yourself. God forbid you're on some island like
it's like
Castaway.
A desert or something. And there's no.
You're on the island like Castaway. It's just there's only shrub and edible things that the goats would eat. Let's say they're goats, because goats are very durable.
And I've tried eating the grass, and I haven't been able to.
Yeah, your stomach cannot break down the grass, just like regular grass here.
Yeah, I'd probably still just eat the grass, and I deal with whatever diarrhea or whatever I got as a result.
Even if there's no nutrition in the grass for you to be able to break down.
Yeah, I think I would just let myself die. Yeah, probably.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, I don't think I would take it. I don't think I would like go.
I respect that.
Stab a pig or something.
Thank you. I just want to know.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to say because I want to respect the gravity of that kind of situation. I don't know. People do desperate things. If people are stranded, sometimes friends will kill each other and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, hey. Sometimes you got to survive. Those people that was on that plane, it's been different situations, and then you see it in movies where, sometimes you got to become a cannibal to survive. So I just want to know.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
All right.
I respect that.
Yeah, take it easy. right. So thank you to everyone who's here. My name is Haas. I have this sign. It says, "Come participate in a social experiment." I'm trying to get people to stop and talk about animals and test their values a little bit, and hopefully just get some people to think a little differently about the animals with whom we share this planet. It's a nice day in Chicago. Battery's holding up okay on the phone. Probably be out here like about probably 40 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less, but you know. Oh, maybe I should drink some water. I need to stay hydrated. I'm always reminding Chip stay hydrated. I gotta take my own advice. And I hold the sign and hydrate at the same time. Okay. Here we go. Holding the sign. Hydrating. Hello. Maybe I should hydrate just a little bit more. Hi, would you like to participate?
Yeah, I would.
All right, great. Are you over 18?
No.
Oh, okay, you have to be an adult to participate, unfortunately. Unless, are you an adult? So if you consent to her participating, then she can.
What is it about?
It's my YouTube channel. It's a social experiment about animals. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what's your name?
Oh, I'm Kitsia.
Kessia?
Kitsia, yeah.
Kitsia. Okay, cool. So my name is Haas, and I'm an animal rights activist. So I have a channel on YouTube called Haas Vegan, and my question is, do you think that animals have rights?
Yeah, totally.
What rights do you think they have?
Well, I feel like. Sorry.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh. I feel like. I don't even know. I just feel like you shouldn't abuse them.
Mm-hmm. So like a right to not have something happen to them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think should happen to people who like abuse animals?
Oh, they should definitely go to jail.
Go to jail.
Yeah.
And do you extend this consideration to all animals?
Yeah. It doesn't really matter what type of animal. Like, if you abuse it, you should go to jail. Even if it's self-defense. Like, I can understand trying to get
Even
it to
if
back
it's
away.
self-defense?
Yeah,
That's wild.
I could understand trying to like get it to back away, but if you end up just hurting it to hurt it, then
That's not self-defense anymore.
yeah.
I mean, in courts, there's actually like, arguments are conducted where people like, they'll review video, for example. They'll be like, at this point, the threat was neutralized,
Yeah.
and then at that point, it's no longer self-defense. So
Yeah.
that's why people can get in trouble even with like standard ground law. That, but self-defense aside, I mean, if we're talking about a vulnerable, defenseless, by all accounts innocent animal, it's abusive to hurt them in any way, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of any good reasons that a person might have to hurt an animal outside of self-defense?
I honestly can't think of any.
What if they like the way their flesh tastes?
Yeah, I guess if they're like raised to do that, but I don't know.
Well, does that matter to the animal though? What the person is raising them for? They're
No.
just vibing, enjoying their life.
they're just trying to enjoy their life, and then they just die to die.
So, are you vegan?
No, I'm not.
It sounds like you have values that align with that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So, I guess what would be stopping you from then saying like, actually, I guess I am. I just discovered that I am. I guess I didn't realize that.
I guess.
Is there anything about veganism that you don't align with?
Self-control, really. I don't think I would be able to have enough control to where I wouldn't want to eat meat anymore or any like type of animal produce. Yeah, produce.
Products, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can respect the admission. Like it takes honesty. A lot of people will try to come up with different reasons why it ought to be okay. So the fact that you admitted that is actually refreshing to me, and I think that you might find that eventually, if you do think that being vegan is the right thing to do, that's more in line with your ethics, what you'll find is that going against that can lead you into some messed up areas in life, because um, this inertia carries you stronger and stronger into being someone that maybe you don't want to be. So when people are faced with this incongruence between their actions and their values, they can either change their actions to align with their values, which in this case would seem like going vegan, or they can change their values to align with the status quo. And that's a terrible, that's called hardening your heart, basically. Closing off compassion to animals. And you're still young, you still have more compassion for animals than a lot of people do. So I would encourage you, don't let society beat that compassion out of you, because it will. It will try. There's huge financial interest in keeping that killing machine going, and people like myself, I don't have a financial incentive to do this. I've been vegan for almost 13 years now, and I just have a YouTube channel, like I said, and I'm just trying to speak up and get people more aware about compassion for other beings, and promoting justice. So veganism is just the simple idea that humans ought to live without exploiting other animals, and then whatever we can do to that end is beneficial to animals, if not directly in terms of saving animals that already exist. At least it prevents more animals from being brought into the world in order to just have this system happen to them. They're not going to ever be able to stop it for themselves, right? So we should be speaking up about it, but the change starts with us. Like the Michael Jackson song, like the man in the mirror. You got to start with yourself first. So you got to be the change, and then you'll feel great because you won't be in a state of hypocrisy or cognitive dissonance. So I guess I just would like you to know, since you've already said basically that you're convinced that you should be vegan, right? Yeah.
I would definitely want to be vegan in the future, because I feel really bad for the animals that have to be sacrificed for just human pleasure, really.
Yeah, and we're not even really sacrificing them, right? Not to nitpick words, but they're not ours to sacrifice. They are their own. Like, they're their own beings. They have their own lives. They're an end in and of themselves. But as humans, we want to use them as a means to an end, right? We're going to make a jacket out of this animal. We're going to use this chicken to steal her eggs. We're going to turn this cow into a steak. We're going to shear this sheep to wear, make a wool sweater or something like that, So I'd like to give, is that your mom over there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to give her a leaflet. I'm not giving it to you because there is some disturbing imagery in it, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to her. And then I would just like to leave you with the idea that until you go vegan, animals will be tortured and abused for you, for your choices. So the sooner you go vegan, the sooner lift that fantasy off. I can't explain to you how good it will feel, and I'm not saying that hyperbolically. I'm just saying, like, in reality, you'll only really understand what I'm saying when you make that commitment. So continue trying to see animals with that view of respecting their autonomy, their bodily autonomy, and then try to make that commitment as soon as you possibly can. Dig deep and get convicted about it. All right, thank you so much. I'll go ahead and give this to your mom. Here's just some information. I'm giving it to you because there's some disturbing imagery in it, so I just wanted to make sure it's with an adult. All right, thank you guys for stopping. I appreciate it. Have a great day. All right, that was a good conversation, I think. And she said that she's basically convinced that she should be vegan. So I think that was productive. I think constructive and productive. There's a little poofy dog. I don't know if you guys can see this dog. I'm getting the urge to pet the dog. I don't know. Would that be vegan if I pet that dog, or would I be instrumentalizing the dog? If you're just tuning in, my name is Haas. I'm holding a sign encouraging people to participate in a social experiment where I'm basically testing people's values, seeing if they align with veganism, and then if they do, kind of helping people go in that direction of not seeing animals as things, respecting animals' bodily autonomy. By the way, so the new phone that I have required me to, or that I just ordered, requires me to get a different microphone, and because of like the input type and that microphone that I just got has two microphones, like two potential transmitters. So if I ever, let's say, I'm out with another activist, or if I'm in another context where we could use two microphones, that'll come in handy then as well. So I can make it like I have the option to just use one, obviously too. So that should be helpful. This dog is just staring at something. I don't know what. So, would it be vegan or not for me to pet the dog? Drop your comments in the chat. If I pet this dog, would I be using the animal for my own benefit in any way? Would I be instrumentalizing or exploiting that dog if I pet him or her on the head, just like a little head scrunch? Lewis says it's vegan. Navia says pet the dog. I'm gonna pet the. I think I'm gonna do it. UK Freedom Fighter says no, not vegan. Okay, I won't then. I don't wanna instrumentalize that animal's life. Um, that animal does exist for his or her own purposes. I will not. I will refrain. I think I can enjoy admiring the dog's fancy coat though. What a beautiful dog. I just want to. This dog is like adorable. What an adorable dog. He's staring at something. He just keeps looking down. So, hello. All right. The dog is winning in life. So I think I might have time for kind of like one conversation, maybe two. Appreciate everybody for being here. I will be streaming more throughout the week as well. So do look for that as well. If you're not subscribed already, that's the best way to follow the conversations. Yes, consent does matter. I don't have a way of asking the dog. I guess maybe if I go up to the dog, if it UK Freedom Fighter says if he gives you the eyes and tail wag, then yeah, you're good to go. Yeah, I guess that's one possibility. Okay, I think I'll go for it. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. May I pet your dog? Does he is your dog a he or a she? He's a he. Can I get consent from him to pet him? Walter, can I pet you? Okay, he's walking toward me and wagging. Okay. Hello. Good, Walter. Thank you so much. All right, so Walter walked toward me with the tail wag and everything, so I think he was cool with it. There's still lots of people walking around. Looks like there's like maybe a Chicago tour happening here right across from me. And I think the tour guide is maybe encouraging people to participate, like people on the tour. Maybe trying to give them a little extra taste of Chicago, maybe. Felix says Walter saw the V on your cap. Yeah, Walter's going vegan, maybe. It's an awesome name too for a dog. I love when dog people have human names. So if you didn't just see me pet Walter, Walter's right there. Just rewind, maybe like 2 minutes. Oh, we got it. We got a shout out. Yeah, we're getting a shout out from the singer lady. You don't get anything. But an open mind. People are looking. I'm kind of causing a commotion here by talking to this lady. But that was nice of her to do a shout out here. It was nice to have a little background music, I will say. Martin says Walter rocks. I would tell Walter's guardian that Walter's getting a lot of love in the chat, but I just don't want to disturb him again. So yeah, I should have time for at least one more conversation here. Thanks to everyone for being here. If you're just tuning in, I'm doing a social experiment, trying to get people to participate. And I'm basically just going to test people's values against veganism and see if they align with veganism, and hopefully encourage people to go vegan. I think I haven't seen a single non-vegan, I think, in the chat, which is interesting. I'm not sure if I think maybe had closer to like 50 viewers earlier, and I didn't see any comments, but then again I wasn't watching at that time. But it's interesting how I was telling some people about that yesterday. Like the chat seems to be pretty quiet, but as soon as a non-vegan starts saying non-vegan things in the chat, then the vegans show their teeth. So the vegans lie in wait like a bunch of peaceful herbivores, and then but once a lion comes into the chat, then the gazelles start kicking. Felix says the trolls are intimidated. No, our canines. Yes, our blunt little canines are very intimidating indeed. Oh, this guy's a Metallica shirt. I would like to talk to him. I saw Metallica in concert in Turkey many years ago. Many years ago. Like close to 20 years ago. If you didn't guess already, I do like heavier music. I'm into a band called Arch Enemy quite a bit. Their singer is vegan, very vegan. If a person can be more vegan. Alyssa, I believe White Blues is her last name. She's very vegan indeed. If you haven't heard of Arch Enemy and you like heavy vegan music, definitely recommend checking out Arch Enemy. VSL in the chat. Navia says, love Arch Enemy. Yeah, Arch Enemy has really kind of powered a lot of my workouts in the recent year or so. So, see if anyone else stops by. Getting a little close to when I'm going to need to wrap up, but we still got some time yet. I'll be going to a vegan restaurant in a little bit, so I don't really have to do a whole lot. I just gotta kind of go home and then go to the restaurant. So I can kind of take my time. I don't have much to do at home. I'm not like super tired. I don't need to like rest or anything. I'm topped up on my B12 levels and everything. So try to go a little longer here. But yeah, I am kind of tempted to maybe like wear a screen or something like that and just kind of like make it a little bit more obvious to people why I'm here. It's kind of funny. I've kind of become one of like the street fixtures in Chicago, which is kind of something that I never quite expected for myself, and I never really expected myself to be this comfortable with this either. Hello, are you guys over 18?
No.
Okay, sorry, it's for adults only. Sad to have to turn people away. Lewis says, Paz, you're going to die taking B12. I mean, that is true that I am going to die one day, and since I don't plan on stopping the consumption of B12, I feel like that is an inevitability. But I'm gonna die, drinking water as well. I'm gonna die breathing basically one day. It's kind of humbling, We all are gonna die one day. It's makes you really want to not only get the most out of your life, but respect others' lives as much as you can. I've heard a quote. I don't know who to attribute it to, but it's not my own quote. Life is too short to make other lives shorter. I want to say it's maybe like Albert Schweitzer or something like that. But yeah, life is indeed short, and I think it's really important to develop and cultivate a profound respect for the subjective experiences of others, of the lives of others. I think even hinging our morality and moral consequences that we think should happen based on the guilt or innocence of subjects, I think is problematic. I think we really need to base it on subjective experience. What she thought about it there. Who says James accepted as a debate? I believe so. James was not seemingly in favor of having the debate that I proposed to him. I believe Chip and James are in the process of potentially setting one up, though. So I believe James might be waiting on Chip to get back to him on it. So something of the sort might be forthcoming indeed. Hello, are you over 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 10 minutes before work.
Okay, that's plenty of time. Would you mind coming on the screen? Okay, so I'm on YouTube, by the way, and we're live. So what's your name?
My name's Megan.
Megan, cool. My name is Haas. Would you mind getting a little bit more in the frame? Thank you so much. So maybe we can just back up a little bit. Okay. So I'm Haas, like I said, and likewise. And I'm basically asking people kind of questions that get them to maybe think a little bit differently. So it's just an exchange of thoughts that I'm after here. And I had recently, so I guess I'll ask you, I read about some research that involved burning dogs for the purpose of burn research. So basically scientists would shave a dog, press a hot metal plate on them, and then kind of maybe test different therapies. So maybe there'd be a placebo or a, control group where they wouldn't have any intervention, and then some of them would receive something else, and then they'd kind of see how much the treatment helped.
They just study how aggressive the burns would get, basically, with or without treatment, and based on different treatments.
Healing and stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah, exactly. You got it. So I'm wondering what you think about that.
I think that's horrible. If you wouldn't do it to a person, you shouldn't do it to an animal. Dogs experience emotions and feelings as well as depression, and we shouldn't be putting any animal through trauma, as we have multiple studies that prove that animals don't experience the same way we do, but they do experience it, and we shouldn't honestly continue to just harm people and things and animals when we have a lot of other avenues and ways to test.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're pretty anti vivisection.
I'm anti just testing on animals in general. I think it's wrong, and I think it's honestly a cop-out when we could just do more scientific research to discover better ways and advance ourselves in more ways.
And even if humans would get a benefit from it, you'd still be against it.
I mean, benefits to humans is always great, but like I said, there are other avenues and we could do more research. We don't need to cause harm to create helpful things for people. Causing harm either way is not a net positive, even if you do heal some individuals.
Great. Well, it sounds like you have really good values, when it comes to the use of animals for research. I'm wondering how you feel about the use of animals for food.
The use of animals for food, if it is done ethically, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. For example, free-range animals, as well as animals who are allowed to live a good life and are treated properly. We cannot, of course, get rid of the fact that people do eat both plants and animals, and as well as going with other cultures, I don't think that'll ever go away. So as long as it's done ethically and safely in a way that cares for the animal, I think that that's continuing the cycle of life.
I mean, of course, we can't stop other people from doing, all sorts of terrible things, right? We can't stop people from being PDFs. We can't stop
Right.
dog fighting necessarily, all that stuff. I remember you said something shortly ago, like about if you wouldn't do it to a human, why would you do it to an animal kind of thing? Would you be in favor of like holocausting humans for people to eat them if it was able to be done ethically? Like, put their lights out in a painless manner, give them a great life, maybe a better life than a lot of people would have, but we just basically be exploiting them and ending their lives when we desire it. They'd be bred for that purpose.
Right. I see your point. Yeah, I mean, it is a sad reality. I don't think that we should do it to humans, but that does open up the juxtaposition in thought versus humans and animals.
Yeah. So there's this idea called speciesism.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I haven't.
Okay, so it's basically the idea that humans have moral supremacy, supreme supremacy
Right.
to other animals. So basically that our interests would, sorry to use a dirty word, but trump their interests. And basically that, we can exploit them and instrumentalize them
Right.
in
Like
any
we're
way.
the top predator kind of
Right.
mentality.
Right. And that if it benefits humans, if we get a net benefit from it, that we ought to basically be free to do so. Obviously in this day and age, it is legal to do certain things to certain animals, but we also have speciesism in our law where, like, if you beat a dog, you could get potentially tried criminally for that. I believe. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think it could be a criminal offense.
I believe in certain states, and I could be wrong, I know that people have been prosecuted for animal abuse in the past, which, thank God.
But the most humane certified way of killing pigs, for example, is to put them in a CO2 gas chamber where the CO2 reacts with the mucous membranes in their lungs, producing carbonic acid, and they thrash. And that doesn't even kill them. That just debilitates them enough so they're easier to kill.
Yeah, I mean, the wide corporation of just meat and animal products in general is flawed. I think that, yeah, like you said, the humane way for corporations to kill animals is still extremely inhumane and wrong. I still think there are other ways. I mean, animals also consume other animals. I do agree with speciesism, and we should not view ourselves superior to other animals. I mean, there's many examples of more harmonious animals than people are. But
well, I will say though, just to make a course correction, if you interpret me this way, with speciesism, I do think that humans have moral agency, unlike other animals. So I think animals who are, let's say, in the wild, who aren't able to go to a supermarket, aren't able to go to restaurants, are kind of left a little bit without a choice. So, if you want to think of it there's certain animals that are maybe wild animals who are kind of sovereigns in their own right. They'll avoid humans as much as they can. And then we have kind of liminal animals, maybe animals that seek out human settlements because they benefit from scraps and things like that humans kind of leave around and they
such
can eat.
as pigeons and such. Although we did domesticate.
Right, yeah, I was going to say that's a little tricky there. But
Or
then
pigeons.
But then we have, animals that are completely domesticated and completely reliant on humans. And I'm somewhat of more of an extinctionist when it comes to those animals. I don't think that it's doing them any favors to keep bringing them into existence. And the sad truth is that also the selective breeding that we've done to these animals has kind of rendered them somewhat of genetic abominations.
Yeah, dogs especially. My family, we saved a Shih Tzu from a puppy mill. They had gotten 100 dogs out, and he just had so many congenital diseases, just obviously caused by the fact that he was severely inbred.
Mm-hmm. And I have a saying, eat tofu, not Shih Tzu. Or eat rice, not mice. It's important to get people to think about why we eat certain animals and don't eat certain animals.
And the environmental issues surrounding big farms and big I'm forgetting the right word.
Animal ag. Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
At scale, it definitely would benefit humankind. Would benefit our planet to transition toward a plant-based food system. If you think about,
the amount of methane pushed up by cows.
Yeah, not only that, but if you think about the fact that about 83% of farmland is used to farm animals, but it only produces about 18% of global calories. Mm-hmm. And I know you're on a time crunch, so I won't keep you longer, but I'd like to give you some information from an organization called Vegan Outreach, if I may. So here's that. And then I'd really encourage you to listen to the best speech you'll ever hear. It's by an activist named Gary Yourofsky. It's an old speech, but it's an old and good one. And if you can't remember that, I'd recommend watching Dominion. If you type in on YouTube Dominion 2018, it shows standard practices in slaughterhouses and other uses of animals. So these aren't like, it's not a highlight reel of the worst or anything like that. It's just like
the reality.
Yeah, I think Joaquin Phoenix and maybe some others just narrating like, this is what happens, basically just placing, it's like hidden camera footage, because obviously these places don't let you investigate what happens there either. You know, there's actually ag-gag laws that like criminalize and prohibit people from filming what happens in these places. So they have a huge profit motive. You know, I don't have a profit motive to spread this message. It just breaks my heart, and I think it's one of the biggest things that is happening in this day and age that's normalized. Just like, you know, maybe 100 years ago, if you said that women should have the right to vote, you would be seen as a radical, you know, things like that. So I think this is kind of like the biggest moral emergency of our time.
It's good to talk about, yeah. Thank you for, you know, opening up the conversation with people and caring so much about the planet and about all the creatures around you.
Thank you. And, you know, I'd like to impress upon you, I do appreciate your respect, but ultimately the biggest thing you can do to respect what vegans are saying is to go vegan yourself. And I can assure you that you would not regret it. In fact, you would probably regret not going vegan sooner, because that's what every vegan says that they wish they had done sooner. So I know I'm kind of being a little firm here, but I do recommend really looking into this firmly and just making that choice.
I'll look into it, but it was nice
Megan,
to
right?
meet you. Yes.
Great. Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. All right. I think that was a good conversation too. And yeah, I'm about nearing the time when I think I should be wrapping up here. So thank you everybody for being here again and again and again. So looking forward to talking to more people and branching out. I might bring some slaughterhouse footage out with me sometime. I have some other plans in the works, also some bigger types of productions. So I know I've been doing more live streams lately, but I'm planning to do some other stuff that's more kind of like polished video productions with different formats. So lots of stuff on the horizon, and I have some live stream interviews coming up soon as well. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Thank you for everybody who's here. I probably will watch this again and just read through chat comments, because I'm interested to see what you guys have been saying, and I always like to kind of engage with the chat as much as I can as well. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, like the stream, do all the stuff that helps push the stream out there. I do appreciate your support, and go support other vegans and their animal rights activism as well. It's so important that, you know, this small movement just grows and supports each other. So I'm Haas Vegan. Hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys another time soon. All right, take care. Bye for now, everyone.